वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ. Speech and its meaning are inseparable, and so are the parents of this world, Parvati and Parameshwara. To them I bow down to get the knowledge of speech and its meaning. This is the Mangala Shlokam of Raghuvamsham, which is about the lineage of Lord Rama, and it is written by the great poet Kalidasa. Raghuvamsham starts with an account of King Dilipa and ends with the life of King Agnivarna. There are many interesting political, economic and historical facts along with beautiful description of nature. If you want to know these interesting facts, then please do subscribe to my channel, The Sanskrit Garden. In The Sanskrit Garden, I will be presenting lots of stories, stotras, kavyas and also spoken Sanskrit activities. So do subscribe and please press the bell icon. The great poet Kalidasa is known for his upamas. Upamas are nothing but similes. In Sanskrit we say upama Kalidasasya, which means to express the fact that Kalidasa's upamas are the best. You will notice it as we go on with Raghuvamsham. His similes are profound and aesthetically very pleasing for the mind. In this opening verse, he says, Shiva and Parvati, the parents of this world, are inseparable just like speech and its meaning. Can you see how profound the simile is? Speech and its meaning are two different things, yet they are inseparable. Similarly, Shiva and Parvati are different, but they are inseparable. And he is praying to them, to Shiva and Parvati, who are inseparable like speech and its meaning, in order to get the knowledge of speech and its meaning. Kalidasa, who is a poet, has to get appropriate words with appropriate meanings. So he is praying for that. And there is another interesting thing in this shloka. In Sanskrit, the word vak, which means speech, is a feminine gender word. And the word arthaha, which means meaning, is a masculine gender word. So vak is referring to Parvati, arthaha is referring to Shiva. Isn't this beautiful? Kalidasa has used this word Parvati Parameshwaro very intelligently. Let's understand it. One way of splitting this word is Parvati cha Parameshwaraha cha, which means Parvati and Shiva. There is another way of splitting this same word Parvati Parameshwaro. Instead of splitting it after T, if we split after the Pa, we get Parvati Paha cha Rameshwaraha cha. Parvati Paha is Parvatim Pati iti, that is, one who protects Parvati, who is none other than Lord Shiva. And Rameshwaraha is Ramayaha Ishwaraha, that is, Lord of Lakshmi, who is none other than Lord Vishnu. So this verse, Vagarthaviva Sampraktau, Vagartha Pratipattaye, Jagatah Pitarau Vande, Parvati Parameshwarau, is a shloka for Parvati and Shiva and is also a prayer for Shiva and Vishnu. This is the beauty of Sanskrit language. Each one can derive his own interpretation. So I urge everyone to learn this beautiful language and to feel and understand the shlokas yourselves rather than depending on translations. Sarve Sanskritam Shikshantu. There is so much to say about Kalidasa and his works. At the end of every video, I will give you some interesting facts about them. For today, I have a question. What do you think is the purpose of making these kavyas? Why did poets write these kavyas? All of you think, and I will give you an answer at the end of this video.
The second verse of Raghuvamsham. Kva surya prabhavo vamsha kvakalpa vishayamati titir shurdustaram mohat udupe nasmi sagaram. Where is the lineage of Raghu, which originated from the sun? And where is my intellect with limited knowledge? Due to foolishness, I wish to cross the unnavigable ocean with a small boat.
This verse shows how humble a person Kalidasa was. He says the lineage of Raghu is very superior. Their glory, their success, and their superior qualities are par excellence. And he feels his intellectual capacity is not enough to write about them. He compares his situation to that of crossing the unnavigable ocean with a small boat.
Mandah kaviyashaf prarthi gamishyam yupahasyatam pramshulabhye phale lobat udbahuriva vamanaha. The meaning of the third verse goes like this. I am a dull person who is seeking poetic fame. This will but earn mockery. It is like a dwarf who out of greediness stretches his arms for the fruit which is accessible only to a tall person.
In the previous verse, Kalidasa says he is incapable of writing about this great lineage. Then a question arises in our minds. Then why is he writing? In this verse, Kalidasa makes an honest confession. He says, Kavi Yashav Prarthi. That is, he has the desire to attain poetic fame. And he gives a comparison to his situation. He says his situation is like that of a dwarf who out of greed is trying to pluck the fruit from a tree, pluck the fruit which is at a height and which is accessible only to a tall person. In his other work, Abhignana Shakuntalam, Kalidasa says, Balavadapi Shikshitanam Atman Yapratyayam Chetaha, which means even very knowledgeable people, even in the minds of very knowledgeable people, doubt arises about their own capabilities. I think Kalidasa himself is undergoing that before writing this masterpiece.
The fourth verse of Raghuvamsham. Athava kritavagdvare vamshesmin purvasuribhih manau vajrasamutkirne sutrasyevasti me gati. Or due to the doorway created by the scholars of the past, my course has become easy, just like how the thread easily passes through the holes already made in the gems using a diamond-edged tool.
This is a beautiful verse where the poet sees hope. In the previous verses, he says he is incapable of writing. Then what made him write? He says previous poets like Valmiki have created a Vak Dwaram, that is, a doorway of words. So he feels now his entry into this lineage is very easy. For this, Kalidasa gives a beautiful upama, a simile. He says, for making jewelry with precious stones, initially holes are drilled in the stone using diamond-edged tools. That is a difficult process. But once the holes are made, it's very easy to penetrate a thread through those holes. So he says his situation is like that of just putting the thread through those holes. Sutrasya iva me gati. Now that we have come to the end of this video, as promised in the beginning, I will tell you the purpose of making kavyas. Kavyas are written to impart the purusharthas, that is, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Now one may ask, the Vedas are already doing that, then why do we need kavyas? Mammata, a Sanskrit scholar from Kashmir, work Kavya Prakasha says, Vedas are like orders. They are like orders of the king. They say Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. They give orders. So many people are not interested in listening to them. So then came Puranas. They are known as Mitra Samhitas. Through stories, they direct people to go in the right path. So they are like friends. Kavyas are Kanta Samhitas. That is, Kanta is a wife. Like how a wife pleasingly influences her husband. In such a way, Kavyas also pleasingly influence people to move in the right path. Here is an instance. A wife is serving food to her husband. While she is serving, she tells her husband, "Do you know, our neighbor has purchased a beautiful necklace." The husband says, "Oh." Then the wife says, "The necklace is very beautiful. Do you want to see?" Husband says, "Okay." She goes to the neighbor, borrows the necklace, comes home, wears it, and tells her husband, "Does it look good on me?" She asks her husband. Husband says, "Yes." And she will say, "It will be so nice if I too have a necklace like this." Obviously, the husband will buy her a beautiful necklace like that. Similarly, these kavyas create an urge in the mind of people by presenting beautiful facts, and finally they teach them good values. They impart the 4 Purusharthas. This is why kavyas are called Kanta Samhitas. In the Sanskrit garden, you will find many more interesting content from the Sanskrit literature, be it stotras, kavyas, stories, or spoken Sanskrit videos. So please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon, and also share this content with your family and friends. If you are wondering who I am Shifa, a native Sanskrit speaker. I have been speaking Sanskrit from the day I started speaking, because my mother, who is a Sanskrit scholar, made it a point to speak to me only in Sanskrit, which continues till this day. After completing my MA in Sanskrit, I have been working for a Waldorf school in Chennai. I also take online classes for kids and adults. All the details about my classes can be found in my website www.tatvam.org. I have left the link in the description. I have also authored 2 books which are for beginners, simple Sanskrit storybooks which can be used by beginners or kids. I have left the link to those books also in the description. So, अग्रिम वीडियो मध्ये पुनर्मिलामः. राम राम.